They did lose. They're now 0-2 after 2 home games.
Oh,
and at times,
brutal.
And I think the Wings will admit they look a bit discombobulated out there. But Wemby was there. Dirk was there. Somebody sent a text in earlier and said that they got a chance to go out to that game and they had a freaking blast and they had never been to a Wings game before. And this is the key. They said, I think I'm going to really follow the team now. And that's the biggest thing right there is I know, and we've talked with the GM of the Wings numerous times, is they've sold out season tickets for the first time. They're about to move to a bigger arena in a couple of years. They got Paige Bueckers, and like it feels like things are building. But when you hear, I'd never been to a game, and now I want to really start following the team, I'm curious about if you think the Wings are truly building up buzz, and if y'all are part of it. 877-881-1053.
I personally think that Paige kind of changed a lot of the excitement level. Like took it to another level because we said the last 3 years the last 2 years and going into this year, the women's college game got pumped up. Obviously, Caitlin Clark was a huge part of that, and Angel Reese and their bitter rivalry between each other.
By the way,
gotta
did
give
you
her
see
credit.
the last? No, the draw is Caitlin Clark. Like, let's all just be honest with ourselves. And hey, if you don't believe me, let's take it a step further. Did you see the last Caitlin Clark game outdrew one of the NBA playoff games?
That's pretty impressive. But then, so Paige was one of those names, too, that people were like, oh, I'm interested to see what she is. When Dallas got her, I was like, okay, that's fun and everything. And then we got a chance to talk to her. She was fun to talk to.
She was.
So that was, obviously, for me, it's a personal thing. I was like, I want to see, what she's all about. I saw her at college. I watched her. I thought she was a fun player. What is she here? They look, like you said, discombobulated. They have some defensive work that they could get better at.
They did change out a lot.
In the offseason. And we looked at the offense last night, and Paige had 19, Arike had 8, and that Arike's your best scorer. So I think that there is an interest there. Dirk being there says a lot for that. That place looked packed last night too. I think that says a lot for the push for it. But I know there are going to be people that are just like, I only have room for 4 teams, and that's all my brain can handle, and I don't want to watch women play sports.
Yeah, and look.
And I get it. Last night, I gave it a shot.
And with all that said, I mean, I definitely think, and if he disagrees, feel free to call up the show. You know the hotline. Well, actually, there's no chance he remembers the hotline. That's where Mike fell on this. He's like, he does not particularly want to watch women's basketball. And
he didn't know the hotline number while he
Yeah, that's a good point. I withdraw that statement for sure. And so I know there are some people who have kind of drawn their line in the sand, and then obviously this has become like a confusing sort of political issue to some people as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yes.
That seems unnecessary.
And I just think like you should watch it if you like it, and you should not watch it if you don't like it. Like, aside from how you feel about political things and everything, I think you should be able to just make up your own mind specifically about women's basketball. And they have started off 0-2, and somebody said, well, that's not good, especially with 2 home games. Fact, remember, last year they were 9-31. All right, there's a reason they got the number 1 pick. And it's not because they went the Mavericks route of being, not so great, and then they got lucky. No, they deserved the number 1 pick because they were awful last year. So this is going to be a work in progress, even with Paige. Now, Alec, I'm curious your thoughts, because where do you fall on the buzz of the Wings? Because I know Reggie, he loves the WNBA and all things involved. We just said, Mike, maybe not so much. Where do you fall on what is a rebuilding team? I know they choose not to use that word, but that's what's happening right now.
It is hard to not get expectations ramped up way too high whenever you do get the number 1 pick. And then, like you said, you got to bring yourself back down to earth, remembering why they got the number 1 overall pick.
Yes.
That pick alone is not going to fix everything. Work in progress is a very even generous way to put it, because it wasn't just adding Paige to the fold. It was also moving on from some other names, like Satu Sabo is not on the team anymore. She wanted to get out of here, so you move her. You bring in Dejanay Carrington. Like, there's a lot of ebbing and flowing here and trying to figure out what is going to work. What is going to help us score points, but not allow a lot of points against some of these really talented scoring teams. So, like, it's tough to not get too invested, and too excited. But I do buy into the hype. I mean, to the point where I feel like they're marketing it a lot more. I'm seeing it on TV more. I'm seeing it on social media a lot more. I'm getting ads for Paige Bueckers jerseys on Instagram and stuff. It feels hard to avoid it. And I think for all the right reasons, and I will be going to games this year. It's just, again, I got to bring myself back down to earth. If Paige scores 25 in a game and you still lose, I got to remember, hey, it's going to happen a few times.
So that's a great example. Last night, Paige, 19 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals. No rookie in franchise history had ever put together a stat line like that, and they lost. So, like, that's, to your point, I think that is absolutely fair right there from the 469. Thanks a lot, Kevin and Cory. You got me excited. Then they lost a preseason game and not won any games yet this season. Trying to get into the WNBA, but I need some wins for the 817. I'm definitely going to be following. I hope it keeps building. I had never been to a game either, but I loved it. And then I see a whole lot of people who don't like it and don't want to watch it. I think it should be as simple as that. You don't have to like it. You don't have to watch it. We talk about stuff on this show that I'm willing to bet all three of us to different levels don't like. Look, I've tried to learn more things about golf. I think the idea of watching golf is intolerable. That sounds awful to me. But I also know that there are millions and millions and millions of people who love it. When the Indiana Fever and the Dallas Wings play at the American Airlines Center, that place is going to be a legitimate sellout. All right, so that means a lot of people in the metroplex care about this one way or another. So if you don't like it, I'm not telling you you have to like it or you're a bad person. You could just not like it. But it seems like there's a lot of people that do like it.
You go ahead and tell them, though. Say you're a bad person.
No, that is silly. I don't think somebody should be called a bad person because they don't like a sports team.
What if they don't like pizza?
No, you're not a bad person.
Most good people like pizza.
Okay. I don't. Look, I don't think you should be called a bad person based on a sports take or a food take.
What if they don't like hurtado?
Freaking bum.
Yeah.
I don't totally agree with your food takes, but guess what? Most people don't agree with any of my food takes.
Oh, that's a good point. That is a good point.
See, Cory hates my food takes. He seems to tolerate me as a human being.
There are a lot of times that I'm just like, dude, you can't even taste the onion. The onion tastes like something else that it was cooked with.
I admit it's a mental thing. I know the onion's there and I can't eat it. I agree. It's the same thing. The Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich, it comes with the pickles on it. Even if you ask for no pickles, sometimes they'll put pickles on it. I will take the pickles off. I will try to dab down the chicken, but I can still taste that pickle. Is it just mental? I can't rule that out.
I don't hate Josh Young. I just want to point that out. I love and I hope the best for Josh Young.
Look, I know we were doing a bit with the Josh Young thing, but sometimes people do confuse what I think is a reasonable critique and at times criticism with you don't like this person or this sports league or whatever.
Yeah, that happens sometimes for sure.
I think we can do better, just like I think the Dallas Wings can do better. They're 0-2 right now. Here's the thing. You should probably prepare yourself for 0-3 because they're going on the road against Minnesota. That's the team that they open up the season against.
Where Paige is from.
And Minnesota thrashed them pretty good, and a lot of people think they're the favorites to win the title. So just mentally prepare yourself potentially for 0-3.
That's where Paige is from, Kevin. I think she's going to show up to her. She's going to honor that place.
Okay, that's great. I just told you she put together a stat line never seen in rookie history by this franchise, and we still lost.
Yeah, maybe she'll have to put up. Enrique will put up better numbers for her. That's what I'm thinking.
I hope so.